All right, so we're going to go ahead and continue into part 2 of Big Judas. John 3:16 has sealed the fate of the Gentiles. He's going to be starting in the book of Enoch, chapter 88, beginning at verse 100. Now, he wasn't showing where he was reading from. He didn't have the screenshot, but I went ahead and found it so that I could read it for myself and also put the screenshot on screen for you. Okay? So here we go.
Let me see here. However, they shall be ignorant, neither shall you make any explanation to them, neither shall you reprove them, but there shall be an account of all the destruction done by them in their respective seasons. Then they began to kill and destroy more than it was commanded them. This is talking about the 70 shepherds who were given authority over the sheep. Okay? And they left the sheep in the power of the lions, so that very many of them were devoured and swallowed up by the lions and tigers, and wild boars preyed upon them. That tower they burnt and overthrew that house. Then I grieved extremely on account of the tower, and because the house of the sheep was overthrown. Neither was I afterwards able to perceive whether they again entered that house. The shepherds likewise and their associates delivered them to all that they might devour them. Each of them in his season, according to his number, was delivered up. Each of them, one with another, was described in a sefer. How many of them, one with another, were destroyed in a sefer? More, however, than was ordered, everyone killed and destroyed. Then I began to weep and was greatly indignant on account of the sheep. In like manner also I saw the vision, in the vision, him who wrote, how he wrote down one destroyed by the shepherds every day. He ascended, remained, and exhibited each of his sephirim to Yahweh of the sheep, all of which they had done, and all which each of them had made and delivered up to destruction. He took the sefer up in his hands, read it, sealed it, and deposited. After this, I saw shepherds overlooking for 12 hours. So I'm just reading a little bit of the accounts of the 70 shepherds and their seasons and the things that they did to our people. Okay? I'm going to continue now. I'm going to go from 88 to, let's go up to verse 115. Moreover, also all the sheep were blind, could not see, as were the shepherds likewise. Thus were they delivered up to the shepherds for a great destruction, who trod them under foot and devoured them. Yet was their Adonai silent, until all the sheep in the field were destroyed. The shepherds and the sheep were all mixed together, but they did not save them from the powers of the beasts. Then he who wrote the sefer ascended, exhibited, and read it at the residence of Yahweh of the sheep. He petitioned him for them and prayed, pointing out every act of the shepherds, and testifying before him against them all. Then taking the sefer, he deposited it with him and departed. So it was all prophesied. This is all written thousands and thousands of years ago, that the Most High was going to give the sheep over to the wild beasts, and eventually that the eagle was going to be instructing them all, which is what we're talking about in the last video. Excuse me. Okay? This is all prophesied. But then the Catholic Church hid the book of Enoch, and then many of our own brethren hide the book of Enoch. They work to hide the information. They work to let you can look at the Bible and you can look at the persecution that happened thousands of years ago. But you can't make that connection that this persecution has continued, and it still continues to this day. That's still controlling the narrative. When they control the books you read, the history that you look at, the connections that you make.
Not to mention the fact that it explains why our life has been hell upon this earth for the so-called Negro. Now, I've always had all these questions in my mind. Why is my life hell upon this earth? Why does it seem like I'm in captivity? Why does it seem like those that hate me are up above me and have all of this power and control over me? Those that detest me have rule over me. Why does it seem that way? Why is it that way in my life, in my physical life that I have lived upon this earth? In my own testimony, I can testify of the persecution and the affliction from those that call themselves the authority over me. Okay? I could clearly see their hatred against me and my people. But when I try to bring this up to talk to my mother or talk to other of my people about this, those that are heavily indoctrinated in the religion of Christianity don't have the ears to hear me. They, along with our oppressors, want to sweep it under the rug and act like it doesn't matter. Like our affliction doesn't matter. Get over it. And even in the Hebrew community, it's like when we talk about our persecution and our affliction that these nations are afflicting upon us, it's like, oh, well, this is the reason why. And that's important. It's important to know the reason why. But it doesn't negate the fact that it's still happening and that it's happened, okay? We need to understand that we have been given into the hands of the worst of the heathen, okay? The most wicked people upon the face of the earth. Not only has the earth been given into the hands of the wicked, the jewels of the Most High has also been given into the hands of the wicked. Okay? We need to understand this. And we need to not sweep it under the rug anymore. Because it is significant. Okay? It's not wrong to talk about this. Our people are afraid to bring this up and to speak on it for fear of hurting someone's feelings. But we're in the days now that hurting your feelings is a must in order to save you, okay? And speaking to you other nations. Alright? So screw your feelings. Do you want to be spared this destruction that's coming your way full speed ahead? Would you rather us not warn you? Would you rather us not, just be silent like your so-called authority? Because they're not telling you the truth. They've inherited lies. And they spread lies all over the earth, okay? Your so-called elite, they have no real understanding. They know that they're going to be destroyed. They know that their time is up. They know who we are. But they don't really know the oracles of the Father. So they misled the entire world. And those of you that are dependent upon all of the information coming from the so-called authority, From those that have their degrees and their doctorates and all of this. Well, where's your credentials? I don't need no credentials from this world. My credentials come from the Holy Spirit, which supersedes your man-made credentials, okay?
You're allowed to know that, yeah, you're Hebrew, but they don't want you to make the connection that they're still on your neck. They still got that boot on your neck, and they're still controlling everything, and that they are ascended into their positions through rape, robbery, murder, and they still have all of our resources, all of our gold, all of our silver, all of our land. They still want you to make those connections.
Then they want to say things like, oh, these people don't deserve reparations. I came across a video the other day. I think this was by redirecting. Yeah, this was by redirecting. Let me go get this dude's name. Bear with me. My computer is acting really, really slow. And I'm just flowing by way of the Spirit. Though I plan to do this part 2. I ain't got no notes, okay? I have no notes. I'm just flowing by way of the Spirit. Alright. So as he brings to my remembrance of different things. Let's see. 1 second. Yeah, here's one. We don't owe, and they call us blacks. We don't owe blacks any reparations. Mitch McConnell. Okay? So we got this heathen. Mitch McConnell says we don't owe blacks, quote unquote blacks, any reparations. Hold on, there's another one too. Let me get the other guy. The other guy that basically called us criminals. Hold on. So they're hiding that one. Wow. Unless they took that one down. I think they might have taken that one down, but I could have sworn that I did download it. So hold on a second. Man, my computer. I hate that it's this dang slow. Okay. This is the Alabama senator. Implies blacks are criminals, so no reparations. Okay? Don't deserve reparations. Alabama senator implies, quote unquote, blacks are criminals, so no reparations. I don't know why that ain't coming up. Let's find out if they deleted this video. Because I have it on my PC because I downloaded it. Copy. Let's see. There it is. So, taking a little sidetrack right quick. Hold on.
Hello and welcome back to the channel. Well, it seems as though people are always putting their foot in their mouth, right? Of course, out of the heart springs forth the issues of life. Many times when people say things, they mean it. There is no apology for it. Or when it is an apology, the apology is very half-hearted or is just to save face. Or simply just to say, you know what, you caught me. And since you're calling me out on it, I'll address it. But really, deep down inside, I feel the same way I felt yesterday, right? So anyway, Alabama Senator Tommy Tuberville, he is under fire for his racist remarks, in which I don't believe that too many of us are surprised at all. But we're going to get into this and see exactly what this man is saying. As a matter of fact, I'm going to roll the video and I will be right back.
They're not soft on crime. They're pro-crime. They want crime. They want crime because they want to take over what you got. They want to control what you have. They want reparation because they think the people that do the crime are owed that. They're not owed that. They're not soft on crime. They're pro-crime.
Okay, y'all. So it was a very short clip. Of course, he said a lot more than that. You can actually...
Bruh, hold on. The audacity. The freaking audacity of this freaking heathen. How do you think that you're in the position that you are, sir? Your forefathers raped, robbed, and murdered millions of people over here in the fourth part. That is how you got your position, sir. You were criminals. You are criminals, okay? You have no room to call us criminals when you and your forefathers are the true criminals, okay? You're criminals with certification, okay? You're a certified criminal. But yet you want to try to demonize us and say no reparations for you niggers. You are criminals. You put us in the positions that we're in. Yes, I understand that if we had kept the laws and statutes of the Most High, we would have never been in your hands. We would have never been under your control. But fact is, the Father allowed you to rule. The Father allowed you to rule during a times and a half a time. During the times of the Gentiles, the earth has been given into your hands. His people has been given into your hands. What did you do with it? You've done nothing but destroy. And yet you have the audacity to call us criminals? Really?
See the full speech on YouTube. He said a lot more than that. He just pretty much said that black people don't deserve reparations because they're criminals. Now, I didn't see anywhere in there where he said some of them are criminals. It was almost like a one brush stroke, like because they are criminals, they don't deserve reparations. So it amazes me how people who actually committed a huge crime, when they took this nation from other people, it amazes me how that same group of people want to call everybody criminals. Even if you haven't earned that title, even if you haven't committed the crime, but because of the color of your skin, you don't deserve it. And he assumes that every last so-called black person is a Democrat. Wow. That kind of trips me out because I remember many years ago when Obama was up for election, my husband and I, we had met this family in Montana. We really adored this family too, and we thought they adored us. Can't even exactly remember how we met, but they were a white family with a lot of children, right? We were a black family with a lot of children, and so that was the common ground. Again, still, I don't remember how we met. That part is a mystery, but we had, started to get really close, or so we thought, right? Again, the connection was them having a lot of children and us having a lot of children. And we talked, his wife was very, I'm going to say Christian-like. The family was very Christian-like. At the time, we were Christians as well. And so we thought it was a good fit, right? Thought it was a good fit. But anyway, when Obama went up for election, okay, the guy's name was Michael, okay. Obama went up for election, and it's like he went into this rage of assumptions, right? He just started assuming that we voted for Obama, that we put him in office, and that we were behind him. Wow. Well, the Most High had actually showed my husband some things about Obama that said, you know what, we ain't voting for nobody, not even him, right? So he calls us up on the phone, just so angry. Wow. And just accusing us of things, right? Wow. Accusing us. And we're like, my husband's like, well, first of all, I didn't even vote. The Most High told me that as his children, we shouldn't have nothing to do with that, period. Whether it's a Republican or a Democrat, yep. You being a Christian, we were Christians at the time. My husband pointed out that all that politics and stuff is not really supposed to be for Christians, right? But Mr. Mike, the Christian man, he was so upset. And he gave a bare, half-hearted apology, you know, for assuming that just because Obama was a half black man that we voted for him, right?
And he ain't even black. He ain't even so-called black. He's not a Hebrew Israelite, okay? He's a Hamite, all right? He is a Hamite that interbreeded with the freaking heathens, okay? He is of the same bloodline as all your freaking former presidents, all right? He is related to them, okay? By blood. He has no blood connection to the true seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Just wanted to make that crystal clear.
And so, again, it's really a trip, you know? It's really a trip. I don't even know how I went in that direction, y'all, but I just did. I went in that direction because there's a mindset that exists in people. Even when you try to be their friend, something always shows up, right? It always shows up. The true colors, they call it the true colors.
It always rears its ugly head. All you closet bigots, you always uncover yourself at some point or another.
It shows up. Always shows up. And so that's what's going on with this guy here. So with his half-hearted apology, and that's probably where I was getting that from, or no apology at all, there's this thing that's in them where they can't separate any of us. They can't separate the thug and the hood from Felicia Rashad on The Cosby Show. They can't separate the trick on the street corners who's doing all kinds of things with all kinds of people. They can't separate her from, let me just pick a person that a lot of people would have respect for. I'm going to say Gayle King, although a lot of black men don't like Gayle King because of her association with Oprah Winfrey. But the point I'm trying to make about those two is that they are not people who would be considered poor or low class, right? But there are those who can't make a separation between thugs and hood rats or the high class black families, doctors and lawyers, professors, dentists. You know, there's no separation. In their mind, you're all black and you're all the same, and none of you deserve reparations. I don't care if you have an Ivy League education like Denzel Washington, Samuel L. Jackson. None of them. You're no different than Pookie and Ray Ray in the eyes of some of these people, like this senator here and so many others like him. Ain't that something? Now, for those of you who say you don't care, the Bible says a good name is rather to be chosen than silver and gold. I tell you these things because it was prophesied that these other nations would be this way towards us and that they would have that perpetual hatred. It's not that I think you care or should care. It's just to reiterate the fact that all of this was prophesied.
Exactly.
And so they think we deserve nothing, although we've seen reparations handed out to all kinds of people.
Yep.
There's even talk of giving reparations to homosexuals. I'm like, reparations for what? When did they put in free slave labor for hundreds of years, for centuries.
Right, bro.
Our ancestors are owed that, and because they are not here to collect, just like those people who call themselves Jews, just like they get reparations, don't you think we should get it? Just like the Japanese who get reparations, don't you think we should get it? Just like so many others who get reparations, even former slave masters got reparations.
Wow.
They said, oh, these people lost all of their free labor, so now they're going to be struggling because that free labor is gone. The people that they used to beat, they no longer have that privilege. So since the laws have changed, we've got to give them reparations so that they don't feel bad. Of course, this is one of my sarcastic moments, y'all, but education is what it is, regardless to how it's delivered. Anyway, what are your thoughts on what this guy is saying? He's so angry and the crowd is all riled up as if they think they earned this country. It amazes me how they say we don't deserve reparations because we aren't the ones who actually did the work. But what makes them think that they deserve this country when all they are doing is reaping the benefits of the thievery that took place centuries ago?
Exactly.
It amazes.
It amazes me too. It's like, bruh, the audacity of these people. Oh my gosh. Alright, going back to Big Judah now.
Go back all the way to just worrying about the laws, statutes, and commandments, and that's it. Don't worry about anything else that's happened, recently. Everything has its place. And so does the persecution and the death and the destruction of our people recently as well. That has its place as well. But that's something that's rarely ever talked about within our nation. We just talk about the persecution that happens, in the past, and we don't make those other connections of what's happened here recently and how it was all prophesied to happen.
Exactly.
Now, this is what I want to read right now. This is Enoch. Let's get here real quick. All right. This is huge because this here is Enoch, I want to say 103, chapter 103, 10 through 14. Now I'm going to read this, and then I'm going to read an account from Bartolomé de las Casas, a short account of the destruction of the Indies. And look at how it matches absolutely perfectly. Absolutely perfectly. We're going to start at verse 10 and read to 14. We hoped indeed to have been the head, but we have become the tail. We have been afflicted when we have exerted ourselves, but we have been devoured by sinners and the wicked. Their yoke has been heavy upon us, those who have exercised dominion over us, who detest and who goad us. And to those who hate us have we humbled our neck. But they have shown no compassion towards us. We have been desirous of escaping from them, that we might fly away and be at rest. But we have found no place to which we could fly and be secure from them. We have sought an asylum with princes in our distress, and have cried out to those who are devouring us. But our cry has not been regarded, nor have they been disposed to hear our voice, but rather to assist those who plunder and devour us, those who diminish us and hide their oppression, who remove not their yoke from us, but devour, enervate, and slay us, who conceal our slaughter, nor remember that they have lifted up their hands against us. There is so much going on here in these couple of verses. But definitely how we, a part there in 12 where it says, we have humbled our neck. We bowed down to them when they got here. Like I said, I talked about in a couple of videos how we knew that they were coming. We knew that we had messed up, and we knew we were going to be going into slavery. We tried our best to give them what it is that they wanted, give them gold, land, food. They took our women, they took our wives, they took our daughters, and we're going to talk about that as well. And they were never happy. They always wanted more. Now, understand, this was written thousands of years ago that this was going to happen. Our people knew about this. Because I talked about in the Testament of Judah, I think, how he talks about how I've read what's going to happen to you in the last days in the book of Enoch. So this was common knowledge that our people were going to fall off and that these things were going to happen. So like I said before about the Holy Spirit, she's not coming to bring in new information. She's coming to bring information that we had and understand we had before. Bringing things back into our knowledge and understanding, back into our remembrance. So we talk about that 312, how we humbled our necks. We were trying to run away from them. We were trying to hide from them, hide in the hills. There's many accounts in that book by Bartolome de las Casas of our people running away and trying to hide and them tracking us down and killing us. And I'm going to read a little bit about that shortly. Hold on real fast.
And I have that book.
And we tried to get other people to help us, and then they ended up just helping the people who were persecuting us. Okay? And in 14 it says, but rather to assist those who plunder and devour us, those who diminish us and hide their oppression. There you go. Very important. They hide information. They hide the books. They hide the book of Enoch. They hide all the hidden writings. And there are many of our people who agree with that, who go along with that, who support these people who are hiding this hiding our books. How are you going to hide our books? This isn't your information. This is our information. These books were given to us. So what right do the other nations have to take our books and hide them from us? Okay? Hide, then that says, those who diminish us and hide their oppression. Now, I'm going to go into that too, how they hide their historical accounts of the things that they've done to us as well. Okay?
And they act like it doesn't matter, and the only way that they can act like it doesn't matter is because they took they hid our records. They hid all the things. They did all of this dirt. They didn't shed all of this blood and then hid it, okay? And portrayed themselves to the world as if they're the great ones, okay? But they hid how they got this land. They don't teach that in school. Hell, they don't even want so-called critical race theory to be taught in school. You got all of these so-called Republican states that have tried to ban it, and some that has banned it. They have banned the teaching of some of the truth that has happened to us and that continue to happen to us. They claim that it's hate speech. They claim that it's spreading hatred to their children. They don't want the truth to be known about how you get your hands on this land. They don't want it to be understood to your children that they are reaping the benefits of raping, robbing, and murdering the original inhabitants of these lands. The downtrodden of the children of Israel. You don't want them to know that. You want to keep them in the dark, but you're doing them a great disservice. You're doing yourself a great disservice when you want to ignore, when you want to continue to ignore the true word of the Most High that's coming forth in these days. In order for you to be able to change your heart, you must first give ear. If you continue to refuse to give ear, you will never be able to change your heart. And if you cannot change your heart, then destruction is on the way for you. Because only the truly repentant is going to be spared. Only the true repentant is going to be spared. Only the true repentant of heart is going to be shielded by the protection of the Most High.